morning, I'm meteorologist Pew. Today is August 5th, 2025. For severe weather, we have a slight risk or a 2 out of 5, and the greatest risk today is we may see multiple isolated tornadoes. And in addition to that, we may see damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour and maybe large hail from 1 to 2 inches in diameter. This morning into early afternoon, North Dakota, you're already seeing convection from last night's storms, but unfortunately, things may start reviving around 19Z or 2 p.m. Central Time. And it looks like these storms are going to track southeastward and form an MCS or mesoscale convective system overnight, which is basically one big block. In terms of flash flooding, unfortunately, again, we have the southeast with a slight risk, and you guys can see rain throughout the day into the night even, and maybe even to next morning. And you guys are going to see rainfall totals in the next 24 hours from 1 to 3 inches, and in some places, especially in the West Carolinas, you may see rainfall of 4 inches or greater. For the tropical disturbance, we still have Tropical Storm Dexter, but that's moving eastward. It's not going to pose a risk for the East Coast, except if you're going to the mid-Atlantic coast, you may see high rip currents. And we now have a 10% chance of something forming within the next 48 hours, but we also have an increased chance to 40% in the next 7 days as well. And then we have a tropical wave way further out that has a 50% chance of something forming within the next 7 days. And with that said, anyone living in the southeast coastline, definitely watch out for rain showers and possibly flash flooding for the next few days and even into this weekend. In terms of smoke, unfortunately, the upper Great Lakes and the Northeast, you guys are still going to have residual smoke all from this week, and you can blame that high pressure that has been sitting in the north that pulled down the smoke and has been cycling this smoke ever since. And if we look at the jet stream at 300 millibars, we can see that the wind speed is moving the smoke from Canada away from the high pressure, but we do have a lot of wildfires in the west, and this ridge is pulling in all this smoke in the upper atmosphere into the central plains. And at the surface, we do have a little bit of clockwise flow from Texas to Louisiana, and that's evidence of sinking motion. So definitely in the southern plains, watch the air quality. And so speaking of the surface, we do have a low pressure that's deepening off the coast of the eastern Rockies, and it's pulling in a lot of south to southeasterly winds into the northern plains. And with these winds bringing in warm, moist air into the northern plains, it's headed into where that convection is this morning. And where that rain and cloud cover is where you're going to see a little bit of cooler air. And so with the interaction of the warm, moist air headed into that cool area, it's going to act as a really strong warm front. And in addition to that, because we have some southeasterly winds, there may be some orographic lift, or basically winds going uphill because the terrain is also going uphill in these areas. And on top of that, literally, if we look at 850 millibars or a little bit above the surface, we have a nice low level jet. And what this is going to do is bring in warm, moist air into this area, but also it's going to have really good low level shear, which is going to help tilt those updrafts, and also it's going to change the wind direction clockwise, which we call winds varying with height. And that's going to help spin the updrafts, which is going to enhance it. If we go up even further at 500 millibars or midway through the troposphere, ridge in the southwest, it's bringing a lot of dry air aloft into the west. And we have a speed max heading into Utah, and that's going to help with mixing the boundary layer between the mid-levels and the surface, which is why we're going to see relative humidities in the single digits and wind speeds up to 15 to 20 miles per hour. Looking at the southeast, we have a near stationary low at the surface, and it's bringing in a lot of warm, moist air into the southeast region. But we also have a high pressure in the mid-Atlantic that's also bringing in warm, moist air. And with these two collide, it's causing the stationary front, which is causing the constant convection and surface lifts in these areas, which is why we're seeing all this rain.